Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I have decided that I'm going to do the 50 questions you've never been asked tag. So let's get this started. The first question is, what's your favorite candle scent? I don't have a favorite candle scent because I don't really burn candles, but if I had to choose one, it would be lavender. What female celebrity do you wish was your sister? I think Jennifer Lawrence would be really cool to have as a sister. Number 3, what male celebrity do you wish was your brother? I really like Leonardo DiCaprio. How old do you think you'll be when you get married? I'm 32. Do you know a hoarder? No. But I do believe that most of us in the world are a hoarder of some sort because we pin emotions and sentiment towards objects, and I mean, it's just what we do. I hold on to stuff just because I have this plastic worm that has been around forever. I think it was my oldest brother's, and so I mean, it's been around for a long time, and I couldn't bear it going in the trash, so it's in my storage unit. Can you do a split? No. How old were you when you learned how to ride a bike? I was about 6 years old. I have a home video and I remember the day. It was the whole father-daughter. You know, my dad was helping me learn how to ride my bike and my mom was videotaping. How many oceans have you swam in? I've swam in 1. And it's soon to be 2 because last of April I'm going to Arizona, but we won't make it out to California probably until the beach until like the beginning of May. But so April, May, whatever. Will be my second one. How many countries have you been to? I live in the United States and I've been to 1. Outside the United States was Canada. My mom, my aunt, and I went up to Niagara Falls and walked across the bridge before you had to have passports in 2003. And it was a really good trip. And I recommend going to the Canadian side because it was so beautiful over there. Everything on the United States side was also commercialized, and it was just open and really pretty over there. Is anyone in your family in the Army? I don't have a family member in the Army. I have a cousin who is in the Marines. He was supposed to come home and decided to re-enlist, so yeah, so he'll be in it for another 3 years. What would you name your daughter if you had one? And number 12, what would you name your son if you had one? I am keeping these a secret. All I am going to say is they have the name Scott in them. The little girl's name will have the name Scott, and the little boy's name will have the name Scott. What's the worst grade you got on a test? An F. So I recommend at least trying because at least some points are better than none. What was your favorite TV show when you were a child? I would have to go with Care Bears, Pobbles, Pound Puppies, the Gummy Bears, Scooby-Doo, yeah, everything. What did you dress up as on Halloween when you were 8? I believe it was a football player. I was also a genie in a bottle sometime around that same age, but I'm not sure exactly what age. Have you read any of the Harry Potter, Hunger Games, or Twilight series? I have read all 3 of them, and I've seen all the movies. Would you rather have an American accent or a British accent? I'm sure that people with a British accent don't know that they have an accent, just like I'm an American and I don't think I have an accent, but I know to other people, you know, even around the United States, we have different accents about, you know, whereabouts where we live, and so I think I'll have to stay with the American accent. Did your mother go to college? Yes. Are your grandparents still married? Yes, I guess. My father's mom and dad were still married, but my grandfather passed away in 2011. But they were still married. My mom's mom and dad are divorced. My mom was really young when my grandfather remarried, so my mother's father is remarried, but she's always been around our whole lives, and we don't think of her as a stepmother. She is our grandma. Have you ever taken karate lessons? No. Do you know who Kermit the Frog is? Yes. I don't care for Kermit the Frog as a Muppet, like as a puppet Muppet. But I really did like the Muppet Babies cartoon, probably from the 80s. What was the first amusement park you've been to? I'm going to guess that the first amusement park that I was ever at in my life was Kings Island in Mason, Ohio. I know the very first roller coaster, like big upside down roller coaster that I was ever on, was at Cedar Point. What language besides your native language would you like to be fluent in? I would like to be fluent in Spanish. Do you spell the color as G-R-E-Y or G-R-A-Y? And I spell the color gray, G-R-A-Y. Is your father bald? No. Do you know triplets? No. But my grandparents still live in the same house, but the sextuplets, the dilly sextuplets that were born in Indianapolis, their grandparents were my grandparents' neighbors. My grandpa got to see the little kids running around all the time. I think I seen them once, but didn't really realize who they were. So, no, I don't know any triplets. Do you prefer Titanic or The Notebook? I really like Titanic because it was a real event. It was a real ship. The inside was beautiful. I love to see that kind of stuff come alive. I've always been interested in the Titanic, and even though the story's not true, I really like Leonardo DiCaprio, and I just like the events that really took place. The history of it. Have you ever had Indian food? Not to my knowledge, and I probably will never have Indian food because I think for me it's more of a mind over matter thing, and it's just not my thing. What's the name of your favorite restaurant? There's a buffet styled restaurant here in Indiana called Ponderosa. I'm not sure where else it is, or in the United States, but their mashed potatoes are wonderful. Have you ever been to Olive Garden? Yes, I've been to Olive Garden, and I'm not sure what the whole rave is about. I don't really care for it. That doesn't mean other people don't like it. I just don't. Do you belong in any warehouse stores? Do you belong to any warehouse stores? No, I don't. But my mom does. She is part of Sam's Club, so we go there a lot to shop. What would your parents have named you if you were the opposite gender? Damien. And if you have a nickname, what is it? My dad calls me Sissums, and my grandfather, who passed away January 25th of 2011, called me his little precious. Who's your favorite person in the world? I don't have a favorite person in the world. I love everybody of grandparents because, in the ideal world, your nieces, nephews, cousins, brother, sister, parents are supposed to outlive your grandparents. And I've already lost a grandparent, so I already kind of know how hard that is. So I do know how hard it is. So I would have to say that my favorite people in the world are my grandparents because they're not going to be around forever, and I just enjoy my time that I get to spend with them. Would you rather live in a rural area or in the suburbs? Rural. Can you whistle? Yes. Do you sleep with a nightlight? I don't sleep with a nightlight in my bedroom anymore. I used to because my dog was 16 going to be 17 years old, and I just thought that, even if he couldn't see very much, but he could still see shadows, and I just thought he'd like the light on, just for a little bit of light. So I used to sleep with my TV on and stuff with no sound, but I don't do that anymore since I put him down in October. So So no. Do you eat breakfast every morning? No. I don't like breakfast. I can't eat right when I wake up. It takes me a couple hours. If I'm working in the morning, I try to grab something to eat, just a little something, or I take something with me. Do you take any pills or medication daily? Yes. What medical conditions do you have? I don't have any medical conditions. How many times have you been to the hospital? These are kind of vague questions. How many times have I been to the hospital for what? To be seen for myself? I can probably count on one hand. I know I've gotten stitches a couple times, like 3 or 4 times, so there's 4 times. I fractured my finger in volleyball practice in high school, so there's 5 times. I had to go a couple times when I was working in a factory, so there's like 3 more times, so I'm going to say 10. 10. For hospital, like going to the hospital for other people, I've been a lot more times than I have been for myself. Have you ever seen Finding Nemo? Yes. If you haven't seen Finding Nemo, watch it. Where do you buy your jeans? I buy my jeans from anywhere. Usually it's Walmart. I've recently got into the jeggings, which are the jean-looking leggings, and those are pretty nice. What's the last compliment you got? Actually, the other day, I got a guy told me that I was cute. Cute. Do you usually remember your dreams in the morning? Yes, I usually remember my dreams in the morning, and if I do think about it, I write them down. Just because I like to keep track of them. I do have deja vu a lot. Like my dreams come true. I'm sure I'm not the only person this happens to, and I don't know that it happens until it's happening. So, I can't put like events together that's going to lead up to it, but at that moment, I know that I've lived it before. What flavor tea do you enjoy? I don't like any tea. I don't care where it's made from, what flavors it has in it. I have tried everything. I don't like tea. How many pairs of shoes do you currently own? I'm going to say 7. 6 or 7. Well, that's including my snow boots. What religion will you raise your children to practice? I was raised as Catholic, so I guess it just depends on where I'm at the time of my life. Well, my husband believes also. If I do raise my children Catholic, I don't expect them to always stay in that religion if they want to practice something else, I mean, I think if you are interested in something, you should pursue it. Get your research in, get your information done, and just go with what you like. So, will I expect my children to always follow the Catholic way of life or whatever I raised them? No. How old were you when you found out that Santa wasn't real? I do believe in the spirit of Santa Claus. I hope no children are watching this because the spirit of Christmas is real. Santa Claus was a real person, and he did deliver toys. And if my nieces and nephews ask me, or the children that I'm around, or whatever, ask me if Santa Claus is real, I don't say yes or no. I tell them that when they stop believing in Santa Claus, that is when they won't get a present from him. Why do you have a Tumblr? I don't have a Tumblr. I know what it is. I don't use it. I don't have a username. And that was 50 questions. So I hope I answered all of them because my camera was being kind of crappy.